This is Rogue Wing, Coraline, or Helen RD over at Starship Modeler. Welcome to the workshop. Okay, quick update on the F4U Corsair. Actually gotten quite a bit done on her. Fuselage is all buttoned up now. The seam actually isn't too bad. I have to see how it looks once I get a coat of primer on it. Right now it looks pretty good. Got the engine cowling glued into place. I did have to adjust these because the gap left in the cooling in the cowling was actually smaller than the gap there, rather than the piece there. So I had to trim those to get it to fit. But all in all, main fuselage is pretty much ready to go at this point. Tail gear's in place. Got the cockpit buttoned up completely. I did go in, I don't know how well it's going to show up because of how small this cockpit is. I went in and touched up some of the panels to get the uniform interior grain going. Also have the control panel in place. Got a lot more work done on the wings. Still need to touch up the seam here, but I've got the cannons in place as well as the cooling radiators. Yeah, looks like I got a slight stair step there, but I'm not too worried about it. Once I get some paint on it, it probably won't stand out as bad as it looks to my eye. I've test fit the wings to the fuselage. They look pretty good. The next thing I've got to do with the wing assembly is put the flaps into place. Right now I've just got them laid out in the order they go across the back of the plane. But slowly but surely, Pappy's bird is coming right along. Figure, looking at what I've still got to do, I'm probably a couple of days away from paint, but at this rate only a couple of days. Definitely getting there at this point. Probably about as far as I'm really going to get today, but let's take a look where we're sitting. Start with, our Corsair now has a pilot. Hasn't been painted yet, but just needs a little work and he'll be ready to go in the cockpit. Speaking of cockpits and fuselages and wings and flaps and everything else, here's where we sit right now with the plane herself. Wings are on, flaps are in. Granted, some of them aren't quite lined up maybe the way they should be, but they are in place. Antennas are in. The seams between the fuselage and the wings are definitely going to need some work. You can see a nasty gap right there. I'm hoping I can just fill that with a little glue, because I'd really rather not have to get in there with Aves, mostly so I don't have to try to file in there. But there's also a seam right around here. That one I think I can fix with glue because it's a really small seam. Same goes for the seam down here. What I'll probably do to get at those is, rather than try to work with the liquid cement, I'll pull out the old tube glue, toothpick some in there, and fill it in that way. Antennas are all in place. At this point, except for those seams, we're about ready to seriously consider going to paint. I haven't glued the canopies on yet, but I will probably put them in place and then mask everything so that A, the cockpit gets painted the same color as the rest of the plane, and B, the interior of the cockpit gets shielded from the rest of the paint. Still have to build the landing gear, but I figure that's probably going to wait till tomorrow at the earliest. But all in all, we're making some serious progress here.